Hello, this is Ron from Super 8 to Video. In this video, I show how to zoom in and out using the Wolverine machine. If you have an older Wolverine that does not have the sharpness feature, then you need to email Wolverine's technical support and provide them with the serial number here on the back of the Wolverine and download and install the updated firmware. This will also allow you to zoom in and out. If you have the sharpness feature, then you have the latest firmware installed as of this date, July 17, 2017. If you do not have this sharpness feature, I have left in the description of this video a link to their technical support website where you can request the firmware via email and they will give you this firmware update. I believe you click here when you go to the link to contact them via email. Now let's start the tutorial. This button here to the far left turns the Wolverine on. These four buttons here are what we are concerned about. The menu button, the up arrow button, the down arrow button, and the enter button. First, you need to make sure the film is loaded and that you have advanced past the leader of the film and are on some good visible portion of the movie. I am now turning on the machine. Then I hit the menu button to get into the options menu. Scroll down to frame adjust by hitting the down arrow. Now push the enter button on the machine. At this point, I am switching to my monitor so you can see what is happening. I do this by plugging in this video cable in the back of the Wolverine here, and then plugging it into the monitor here. The small screen on the Wolverine will go dark as soon as this video cable is plugged into the Wolverine. Now I need to go to the AV input on my larger monitor to see the Wolverine's options on the big screen. By default, it is on where I last set it. For me, that was the X adjust setting. The up arrow moves it left a little each time I hit it. I will hit the up arrow 4 times. See how the sprocket hole moved to the left side of the screen? Now I will hit the down arrow 4 times to move it back where it was. I will hit the down arrow a couple of more times. See how it moves further to the right? I will now center the film again by hitting the up arrow. Now, when I hit the enter button, this changes the menu to the Y setting. The Y setting allows you to move up and down, and the X setting allows you to move left and right. Now that we are on the Y setting, I will hit the up arrow 5 times. See how the film moved up to the top? Now I will hit the down arrow 5 times to center it again. Of course, if I hit the down arrow some more, it moves the film further down. I will hit the up arrow to move the film back up again. When I hit the enter button again, it will take me to the W setting. It is this W setting that allows you to zoom in and out. The up arrow zooms the film in. I'll hit this arrow 8 times, zooming in a little on each hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It can zoom in 24 times, but I am only going in 8. The down arrow zooms you out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you notice, the W setting is now 0. That is the maximum you can zoom out. I prefer to be zoomed out and centered, and then I zoom in using the cropping feature in Video Studio Pro. This allows me to copy the entire film that was filmed by the camera. When you zoom in with the Wolverine, you lose some of the picture on both sides and the top and bottom. Even though I get the entire picture when I zoom back in with Video Studio Pro, I do lose some of the resolution of the film. In other words, it is not quite as clear, but on my 43-inch monitor, I can hardly tell the difference, if at all. I have already made a tutorial on how to use this cropping feature. For this present tutorial, I already had the film centered, so when you first enter the frame adjust feature, your film will be zoomed in differently, and the left and right and up and down will all need to be adjusted. Once you have the frame adjusted and centered, etc., hit the menu button to return to the main screen settings. Hit the menu button again if you want to change the sharpness or exposure settings before you begin to copy the film. Once you have all the exposure and sharpness settings the way you want them, hit the menu button one more time to get to the main menu. Then hit the enter button 2 times to begin to copy the film. However, before you start the copy process, do not forget to back up the film to the very beginning so you can copy every frame. One good feature of the Wolverine is that all the sharpness settings, exposure settings, and frame adjustment settings you did are saved even if you turn off the machine and then turn it back on. In other words, these settings become your default settings until you change them again. Well, that's it. This is Ron from Super 8 to Video signing off.